I'm really excited to see Kairo's Jet. I think it's going to be amazing, especially with his prowess in the op. It's going to be quite a show again.
Yeah, quite a differentiation between these team lineups. The Brimstone in comparison to the Breach, the Omen in comparison to the Raze. We'll have to see if Versus can use it to full effect on this attack, as it looks like a pretty hardy push coming through from mid for Versus. However, they're going to have to push through those Omen smokes and those blinds. Coming in, it's going to be a little bit of an uncomfortable position if they don't take it, very cautiously, which it looks like, to their credit, they are going to be doing here. But so far, a very widespread for these two teams so far. The slow orb going to be coming in. It looks like that Omen getting ready to send in the paranoia, perhaps to come in and blind their opponents. But instead, it looks like Versus is going to be backing out and making that rotation towards A. Still that kind of methodical scouting out attack strategy we've been seeing from them so far, Concept.
Yeah, this is actually very smart by them. They're playing a default. Finally, we get to see Versus play default a lot more slow and a lot more calculated. And now with Cypher pushed up all the way up there, and with that intel, they're able to fully execute on A now. Here they go.
Yeah, they're going to be executing on a quick dash out into the main lane. Cairo takes down Raitais. Cairo takes down Leo to follow. And Shiba, once again, they're starting to build this momentum. They're carrying through. They're up 5v1. And it's going to be Chipoe with taking down Nini. And so far, so good for Shiba. They're up the first map.
Yeah, what a flash by Breach. Now, we didn't get to talk about this much, but Breach is one of those agents that's so good on this map because of how there are so many chokes potentially in B, in A, and through mid, that his rupture ability is able to catch multiple people. Flashes are always good when you can, flash through a wall. So you saw that in full effect when Versus pushed through A, they were completely blind. And again, they didn't check that little box area that Cairo was camping in. So very, very sloppy, and Cairo was able to punish him so heavily by getting 2 frags that way.
And we'll have to see if they can get the frags this time around. Shiba spotting out some members of Versus who do take a few licks. Traded a little bit back and forth. Dark going to be taken down. Nini, however, of course, no res on the field this early in the game. So Versus going to be down 4v5 so far. And Raitais actually gets the kill onto Dark, but has their back turned to Cairo. And right now, it's a trade back and forth. The plant goes on for Versus. It's going to be Shiba having just that Omen in Sev, and that Sage going on line. Sevi showing a little bit of the disrespect, spraying that body with bullets.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Versus really good initial execute. They just couldn't finish it off, and honestly, that's what you would expect. They're on an eco with pistols. They're never gonna win that as long as Team Shiba plays smart with their SMGs along with their pistols.
Yeah, fortunately for the side of Versus, they were able to get a few kills. Obviously, 3 members falling for the side of Shiba. So it will help equalize just a little bit, but now we're starting to see that op come online. Cairo going to be looking to get that damage done. I'm curious if they can get it done.
Yeah, looks like Versus is going for a fast push through B. Actually, no, they're actually going to play a bit more of a default, so that's good to see. I think it's nice to feel it out, especially in these early rounds. They're finally weaponed up, so they should take it slow, take these gunfights, win these one-on-ones or 2-on-1s or whatever, and get advantage before committing to a site.
Yeah, just win the round, easy clap. And with that, Versus now looking to push through mid. At least they certainly have most of their team stacked up there. However, they may just be waiting for a little bit of reconnaissance from that Cypher and from that Raze to really see what their options realistically are looking like. Looks like they're going to start moving their units through this mid section. The Jet, the Sage, and the Brimstone coming in. Again, taking it very slow. They're going to have to be very careful as that Sage on Shiba's end does have the possession of that hallway. It's going to be the Sage wall coming out, and really Versus not a whole lot to deal with it. They're going to be just cut off here. Looks like they're kind of considering their options.
Yeah, that Sage wall in mid is just devastating for Versus because you have 3 men pushed up. You're ready to maybe look for a pick in mail room or rope room, either one, and then you just get stunted by a big wall.
Yeah, and it's going to be Leo trying to get some clearance, some initiation maybe with that frag grenade. Not going to be finding too much, no damage with it, I do believe. Rydtai is hiding up on this scaffolding, early up, going to be using that draft jump to really feather themselves down. Got to be going for the plant, however. Looks like Shiba's not really going to be too busy in contesting them right out of the gate. Now Shiba has the onus on them. They need to find that. They need to find those kills early on so they can get the defuse, but this is not what they want to have happen. They're trying to collapse here. It's just going to be that Sage on the line trying to find those kills. Really not going to be able to, and it looks like she's just going to try to skitter away, avoid taking those early losses.
Braindead Aimer did have a Cypher tracking dart on him. I'm not sure why no one on Team Shiba peeked up there, knowing that he was up there in heaven. So very questionable decision making from them. I think they kind of got a little overwhelmed there on that site. I'm not exactly sure why they gave up B so easily. I surely thought that they would contest that a little bit more. Instead, they opted for, Team Versus to completely take that site and then opt for a retake, which is so hard to post plant on B.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Luckily, Bancroft able to get a couple of kills with that op, leveling out the econ just a little bit. I believe it was the Sage and the Brimstone who did take that fall early on, but it's not going to help Shiba going into the scoreline 2v1. Now they've lost a little bit of that momentum that they may have been looking to build up.
Yeah, and Shiba looking to invest again in the operator, so that means, if they lose this round, they're definitely going to lose the next one with that broken economy. So looking for them to step it up, hold these sites more aggressively, and just don't concede them so early into the round.
Yeah, you have to concede if you're dead, though, with that Shiba losing their jet early on. That's not going to be a engagement that they're going to want to take too heavily now, knowing that they will probably not be at the man advantage here. In fact, it's going to be the full of Team Versus trying to rotate. That Ray is taking a little bit longer than they might like to get to point, but they have to be methodical. They do have that Cypher sneaking up on them, so they really need to try to catch them out. It's going to be Leo Dez taking down Chobo Me, that engagement I was just talking about. Now Shiba doing a quick rotate to B, or at least through towards that mid area. Getting that wall off, making sure that none of the defensive team can use that mid push. As we see here now, the darkness going to come in, blocks off a lot of this line of sight, makes it, again, very dangerous for this attacking team to push in. Bancroft ready and just waiting for that raise to push through this darkness, this shadow orb as it goes in. Bancroft looking like they may want to peek into it. In fact, will be perhaps a calculated mistake as Leo does just absolutely takes the shot. And now the orbital strike coming in from, I believe it would be Shiba, but they're not going to be finding anything with it. As now Versus taking the man advantage, only that Omen to do anything about this fight. The bomb gets planted and Shiba in a very bad spot.
Yeah, like we said last game, if Cairo goes down, Team Versus is going to run over Team Shiba. That's just how it's going to be. Cairo's just so pivotal, especially with the opt-down so early. That's got to be devastating for Team Shiba. I mean, right now, it's just Omen versus the world, and he's definitely going to save this weapon. But next round, it's going to be it's going to be scattered buys. I mean, the rest of Team Shiba don't really have any credits to afford to invest up. So it looks like Versus is going to take this round, and they're going to have a pretty easy route to securing the next one as well.
Yeah, going to have to be very careful as Sev does get in danger of Leo Dez, however, wins the gunfight. Leo Dez taken down, nobody able there to close onto that final kill for the Omen. And with that, Sev might have helped the anti-economy of Versus out just a little bit. So they're going to feel pretty good about that.
Yes, this should do.
Yeah, and it looks like Versus is probably going to go for default again into a pistol round. You don't really have to rush the site and get barraged by a bunch of pistols just spamming you down. So this is smart. Actually, it looks like they might look for a quick A rush over here. Not sure if this is the smartest idea, but again, they have all the weaponry they need to really take all these frags.
Yeah, they're certainly going to go for it. The Cairo going to be bringing out that jet play. They see the cage go online. They're going to know that the stack up is coming through on this long push. But Cairo not watching that angle sharp enough. Leo Dez seems to be doing a little bit of work on this raise this time around. Going to see them getting the reload in as now the team's going to push up with the bomb, buddy. Shiba going to have to now take the opportunity to reposition onto this high ground, trying to find something. They find two, actually. Bancroft getting double kills, but Nini going to be closing out with the 3-piece.
Yeah, not that bad considering how poorly that early game went for Team Shiba. They were able to get 2 kills, which is going to damage the economy a little bit over on the side of Versus. So not too bad. I wouldn't be too mad at that. And going into this full gun round now, they can really focus up and then play their best.
Yeah, and we're starting to see Cairo with that op. We'll see if they can be incredibly lethal with it on this defense here. You got to think that the lockdown, it does come in. We'll have to see if they can use it to full advantage. The bomb buddy going out. It's going to be Leo Dez, knowing that there's opponents, but Cairo finally getting the better of Leo Dez, putting them down with that operator. And now Cairo just holding down this angle, knowing that there might be more to come.
Not kill my allies.
Yeah, I mean, Leo Dez, they just capitalize on the play style that he holds, being a very, very aggressive player, always pushing up. And Cairo and the rest of the Team Shiba knowing that punishes him for that. But Sage ult, so it's equalized again.
And we're going to be seeing the blind fire come in a little bit for that Cypher. Not quite able to find anything. But with this, now Nini trying to hang on to the ropes, but doesn't quite find the damage that they were looking for. Going to be throwing out that Cypher cage by themselves, a little bit of space. Sev, however, has this position right here. And Nini turning their back to the opponent. Not the best option, as if they had the foresight to see it. And with this, the showstopper goes out from Leo Dez. Doesn't find too much, but the save can't be said for Right Eyes as they get the shot with that op. And right now, Bancroft just trying to hold down these angles. Cairo helping their teammates out as well. Does bring back Chobami though, so it will be a 5v4 type situation, but Versus has planted the bomb and now Shiba needs to make a move.
And here they go.
They're gonna be giving it a shot here, but the Brimstone picking up 3 Right Eyes with that Jet takes one of her own. And just a single knife landing into the Sage, not quite. Gonna be trying to go for the shot of the op, not quite finding it, and that bomb sound means it is ticking down. Bancroft not even gonna have the opportunity to get the defuse as they get gunned down by Brain Dead.
Yeah, Brain Dead coming up huge with the 4K in that round. I don't know, that round happened so fast, that retake attempt happened so fast, and then they just all line up for Brain Dead Aimer. Now sitting at the top of the leaderboard, 7-3, feeling super confident about himself with about 7K in the bank. So the rest of Team Versus looking pretty healthy in terms of economy, so they can drop one round and still be able to go for a full buy next round too. So they're feeling good. They're feeling it out. It is their map after all. It looks like we're going into another default here. Has been working out for them so far. Wow, nice spray by Braindead. He's playing out of his mind.
Yeah, getting that wallbang, knowing exactly where that Sage is gonna be. That's gonna be a crucial kill coming forward here, as it does now put Versus at that man advantage. They're gonna be looking perhaps to get that push going a little bit more here, knowing that they are in that top spot. Cairo trying to hold down these angles, but needs to be careful as there's a lot of people going down mid. That ice going to be coming out as well as the molly. Very careful playing around this. Nini gets taken down, but Sev, not long for this world as Trisoft comes in and cleans up afterwards. The smoke's going to be going up towards that heaven angle, making sure that nobody really can hold it too aggressively from this defense. Now the attackers have the opportunity to plant the bomb. They're just going to be looking for the right spot, ensure that it is going to be safe to do so. Going to be getting themselves a little bit of cash. And Cairo trying to find that long distance shot with the ghost, doesn't quite succeed in it. Does eventually get Brain Dead Aimer, which is a crucial kill. Moving forward, as we've said, Brain Dead Aimer, one of the more predominant players coming through from this Versus squad, but Versus still up in numbers, still up in health pools.
Yeah, but regardless, this is going to be a tough retake to take. So I would save on the side, maybe try and get one more pick. But now that the dark has fallen, it's a 1v3 situation. It's pretty impossible to do. Might as well save the gun that you have there and lick your wounds and go into next round with a new strategy. Because yeah, again, like they lost control mid, and then once Team Versus took control of Heaven, they pincered in Chobome, who was pushed up in tunnels, and yeah, that was basically a round. Now you were looking at a 3v5 retake on B, which is way too hard to do on the defense side. So now that we do get a full buy from Team Shiba, though, they had some warping in the beginning, but they also had a lot of pistols going to the last round. So now they finally get a chance to fight back. If they win this round, it's a security net, because then, at least they have a chance to compete in the next round. But if they don't, they're looking at a save again.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to see how it plays out. Shiba really needs to start winning some of these games back, not only for the scoreline, but for their economy. As we can see, Versus going to be looking to stack up on that A side push. And Cairo finding the first pick onto Leo Dez. That aggressive array is not going to be a factor as much anymore. And this might be the turnaround for Shiba, and may have been the kill they needed to really open up this fight and this round.
Yeah, how many times do we keep saying Leo Dez, getting picked up by Cairo? Because that seems like the theme of this entire series is Leo pushing up and then Cairo punishing that.
The orbital strike gonna be trying to come out from the brimstone of Versus. Doesn't find too much. The sage wall coming in makes that funnel so easy for Shiba to just shoot down Versus like fish in a barrel. And right now, Shiba did get that claim back that we were talking about them needing.
Yeah, that was really sloppily played by Versus. I mean, that sage wall, I don't know if that's what they intended, but they literally created a very, very tight, narrow corridor for Shiba to just spray down and opt down. So not sure what that sage wall was intended to do. And again, like, they went in with just a sage wall, no other utility, no smokes, no flashes, nothing to block the sight of Team Shiba. So I don't know about that. I think they kind of lost a little bit of morale with Leo Dez dropping mid earlier, but yeah, that was not the best play we've seen Versus play so far. So.
Ooh, and Cairo taking down Brain Dead Aimer as Brain Dead Aimer goes for one of those more wall bang based box frags. And with this, again, Shiba now in a good spot. No res for Versus quite yet. Cairo trying to play out what angle this Sage is, or this Jet is shooting from. Really trying to find that early kill, but being a little bit patient. Don't want to give away their position or their composition just yet. Cairo not going to find Right Eyes with that op. Instead, just going to be taken down by a shot from the Vandal. And with this now, Bancroft playing the Sage, but the counter wall coming in from Trisoft. That's going to be looking good. Trisoft essential in this push here.
Yeah, what coordination by Versus. The Sage wall pulling up two and being able to peek at the same time, and even if someone dies, you're trading, right? And then you have Heaven control. That's so important. And then Trisoft gets another one. So, I mean, Trisoft, he was topping the leaderboards last game, and it looks like to be the same for this game. Definitely carrying his team. And Team Shiba on the wrong side of the map, unfortunately. Now they have no choice but to save their weaponry and then go into next round, figuring out how we're going to stop this B push. Because almost every time that they've been shut down on defense is from this mid to B push that Versus just seem to have their number.
Yeah, it is going to be the puzzle that moves forward for Shiba here. They're down 3-6 by the time this bomb explodes. No hope for them to get that defuse online. And right now, you gotta think that the side of Versus is gonna be feeling pretty comfortable here, but it's certainly not over. We're still only on this first half. The economy continues to build for that Versus squad, and Shiba looking a little bit hungry when it comes to the funds.
Yeah, you can definitely tell who wanted this map and who didn't, because Versus is definitely on top, and you look at the rounds disparity, it's just crazy. They've got full control of this game and this half. It's just a matter of how far they can extend the lead at this point.
As we see Right Eyes holding this angle once again with the op. They love to try to get those opening picks. Leo Dez looking to get aggressive, as is characteristic of their playstyle, but Versus is going to be leading with the chin on that op, really opening themselves up and trying to open up the opposing team Chobo Me on this solo Behold, just ready to get some scouting up, has those tripwires ready to go should anybody get caught. And Chobo Me gonna be seeing that raise, ready to push in, or at least holding in this side room. So with this now, it looks like Leodez gonna send the bomb buddy down the field, but not really going to be following up with it. They're instead going to make that rotation towards mid, and this is the strategy we've seen time and time again from Versus.
Yep, here they go, pushing 4 strong mid, looking to get that initial pick to get things steamrolling, but the team Shiba seems to be playing super defensively this now. Cairo is not going to peek mid, and Dark gets a trade, but that's all he gets, and that's an off-down, and everyone is going to start rotating to A now. They've got heaven control, and yeah, they're looking to take this bomb site.
Yeah, Shiba looking like they absolutely have no control over this map right about now. Cairo going to be throwing all of those shurikens in at the same time, not finding anything. Kunai, rather, I suppose. But with that, attackers winning Versus clean it up. 3 members still on the board, and they're kind of running away with this here.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell Team Shiba, but they gotta play for more mid control. You've seen how easy it is for Versus to just walk up mid, get a trade or get a pick, and then just take over a bomb site. Because once you have that mid control, you can go either bomb site, you can threaten, like either going B straight through a rush or going to A, and there's really nothing you can stop them at this point. Cairo being pincered off in that really awkward position in the backside of A, he couldn't do much there, so they managed to shut him down after 1 kill. And again, looks like Versus, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? They're going to play this 3 strong mid. They're going to probably rotate Leodez back to mid as soon as they push up a bit more. And again, I don't know, but Team Shiba is playing so passively on this mid.
Yeah, the slow orb will come in from that stage. Right Eyes taking advantage of the fact that Bancroft is just going to open peek that, getting the 1-shot with that up. Looking so good so far, and with this, you got to think Versus is going to be feeling pretty confident, but they're actually looking like they're going to change it up, not going to run mid. In fact, looks like they're leading a little bit towards that A side.
Yeah, and again, like we were saying, Team Shiba is not being proactive at adapting to what Versus is doing and understanding the game and where the state of the game is. They've been consistently playing too passively on site. Look at all the members of Shiba. They're playing to the back of every site almost, and allowing Versus to run rampant throughout wherever they want to go is not how you win this game. Now that Versus kind of have control over this top side of A, they're gonna look to take control over the rope room and find picks there, and then migrate into this A site eventually.
We're going to have to see Shiba getting the advantage with a kill off of that op, and now they're just trying to burn down the clock. It looks like that's exactly what they're going to have to do, really pressure down Versus on that time bank. Nini just going to be running away, not really caring about the bomb. They'll be willing to give up that point considering their lead.
Yeah, this first round was looking so good for Versus, but they played it a little bit too slow. I mean, we're used to them playing at super fast pace, and it's nice for them to slow down every once and then. But like, they played that extremely slow, and Trice off to the bomb or with the spike, instead of heading towards a position where he could plant, he pushes up and tries to get kills instead of looking at the timer and noticing that they need to get the spike down or else they lose the round. So that was kind of lethargic on the end of Versus, and hopefully they clean it up and finish this round 8-4, because they've definitely played this map a lot better than Team Shiba have.
Yeah, I tend to agree here. Shiba still going to be on this defense for this one last push. And Versus, again, continuing to poke up middle, but Nini getting punished by Cairo. That Cypher going to be taken out on that A lane. And now it's looking like Versus might have a little bit of a conundrum on their hands. I'm not sure if they want to push up or not. Flashbang does try to come out from Dark to blind that up on the side of Versus. Not going to be so successful, though. At least no capitalization upon that blinding, if so. As well, the darkness from Seb going to be proving to do the same thing, really just limit those lines of sight. And now the walls coming online from the Sages, going to be kind of sandwiching this Versus squad into an uncomfortable position. However, eventually they do rotate and make that heaven theirs. Bancroft, though, has something to say about that as Undead Aimer does drop versus now 3-5. Cairo and Raitais both getting a shot with that op almost seemingly at the same time. Raitais taking a little bit of a flashbang, going to be dropping their ultimate dangerously low, not going to be finding anything with it. And with that, the defenders finally claim back this last round of their defense.
Yeah, you know, I was being very harsh on Team Shiba for not playing to counter versus his gameplay or like play style. But in that case, even though they gave up mid so early, they saved their utility for when versus eventually pushed up as 5. They just threw down the slow orbs, threw down the smokes, and then stalled versus enough where all 5 men were able to get on B site and contest the site. That was very well played by the side of Team Shiba, and the way they adapted there was very, very good. Coming to this half, it's definitely a good thing looking forward, and they definitely have a better chance now as they have a better grasp of how versus plays.
Yeah, all this defense might have just been a little bit of recon coming in from Shiba to really know how to optimize their strategies here. But Raitais on this high ground, gonna be taken down by Bancroft. The trades coming in, but Shiba has early man advantage. Those grenades coming in, a lot of abilities from that Raze, just trying to find whatever benefit they can. It looks like they're gonna be quasi-successful with it. It's now a question of 4v3. However, a lot of members from Shiba bleeding heavily versus almost losing that Sage, but she will have that self-heal online in probably about 20 seconds if I'm a betting man. And with that, we're looking to see the decision-making coming in from Shiba here. They might actually try to re-engage on that B.
Look at this. This is so smart. They know Versus rotates heavily and start going to B. But this time, Versus are leaving 2 members back on B just in case this exact scenario happens. So very good mind games by both teams and very strategically planned. We'll probably see Team Shiba push up in about 10 to 15 seconds. They really want to run out the clock and make Versus second guess themselves. But it looks like they're going in now.
Yeah, they're going to be going in now. The healing orbs coming out from both the Sages. Shiba gonna be dropping that bomb, getting it planted, and now the onus is gonna be on Versus. Chobomi popping off a little bit with that ghost, taking down 3 throughout the course of this round. It's just gonna be Leo Dez on this Raze trying to make it happen. Can he is the question with that Raze playing very slowly around the bomb. They might just be trying to drain some money out of the side of Shiba. Gonna be actually walking into the back of the breach. Dark taken down with 1 single bullet to the back of the head. And now it's trying to find that damage onto the Sage as well. It's looking so good. Leo Dez has the opportunity here, throwing in the grenade, really forcing out, but Sev gets the damage, and with a ghost of their own, they pull it back as last man standing.
Yeah, you can't fault Leo Dez for playing it like he did there. He played it as smart and as tactical as anyone could, being able to get 2 in a 1v3 situation. Unfortunately, you know, he was playing it just too slow as the bomb was sticking down. He couldn't really. I'm sure if he had more time, he could definitely clutch it out with that grenade and with the ability to kind of play with Sev, like ring around the rosy around that column. But yeah, unfortunately, the bomb ticked down too far. He had to stick it, or else he was going to lose anyway. So. Yeah, not much you could do there. And we're seeing a very, very fast execute onto this A site. And Team Versus is caught sleeping at the wheel. They have no one on the A site.
Yeah, and now they're going to have to push through the smoke. It's going to be an uncomfortable spot for them. And the Cypher actually getting cut off on Defender's spawn. It's going to be a little bit brutal as that Cypher's going to have to break through that wall all on his own, making him an even more vulnerable target. However, Heaven now completely owned by Versus. It looks like they're going to go down ramps and towards that attacker's spawn. And the cage coming out from the Cypher now limits their line of sight. It's going to cause them to have to either rotate or wait it out. Either one, not a great option coming forward. As now we're seeing Shiba be very disciplined here, trying to just hold out. It's going to be Cairo noticing that Cypher as well. Might have an inkling that the rest of their team is following them there and looking to really try to put that damage down. Stuck between a Sage and a Cypher. If either of them peek at the same time, it's going to be lethal. But the entire stack coming in, and with that, Cairo comes in, uses the updraft, gets themselves that height advantage, and now they've kind of actually left that spawn point. Not really going to matter as the bomb does eventually go off. Shiba have successfully tied it up here.
Yeah, and again, that was an eco round for Versus, so not looking up much, a lot for them. I would have liked to see them play more aggressively on the bomb side just to get, maybe one or two trades. Even if they lose a round, that's still damage done to the economy on Team Shiba. But they were playing for that full rotate, and then towards the end there, they were just playing angles, trying to get some picks, exit for eggs, as you will, as the bomb ticked down. But again, they got a few kills, but still, the round goes to Shiba, and both teams now with full credit.
Yeah, and Brain Dead Aimer tries to pre-fire that smoke, not going to be finding too much as they do get taken down themselves. And now, A, once again, looking very vulnerable. It's just going to be that Raze trying to get collapsed upon by the side of Shiba. They will be finding it eventually. Raze gets a grenade off, but it's not going to be too successful. The Cypher going to be dropping that Cypher link, knowing where the entire enemy team of Versus is going to be. And with this now, Shiba once again getting an early plant and really putting the emphasis onto Versus to have to capture and defuse.
Yeah, that was super aggressive, and they're taking a play out of Versus's strat book or something, because they just ran straight into the A, and then Brain Dead couldn't even get a trade because he was surprised at how fast they were running up. So with Brain Dead dead, all the players weren't ready for that A push, and they were able to get on site successfully. So another very, very clean execute by Team Shiba. I'm actually very surprised that they were able to get away with that as much as they did. Versus really reevaluate how they're playing this game right now, because they were up very heavily towards half, and they kind of lost all that momentum. So I'm not sure if they're going to get a buy-in. I know a few members got to save the weaponry, but if they do, they really need to clutch it out for this round, or else they're looking at dropping another one after this. So, yeah, looks like they're stacking 3 on B again, which is a bad foreshadowing, because Team Shiba is all stacked on A, and if it broke, don't fix it. That's the motto for the day, and they are going to hard run it, bum rush through A, and take this site by force. So this is potentially going to be very hard for Versus, as they're walking up now.
I love the opportunity to say I was right, and it looks like adaptation definitely going to be a factor in these two teams. Brain Dead Aimer able to get the 2 kills onto Cairo and Sev. That's going to be some crucial kills. Bancroft ending up electing to res Sev instead of Cairo. An interesting choice, knowing how well Cairo can perform in these instances. And now the trades coming through once again. Shiba alternating and going to be rotating in through that ropes room. And now Sev having the patience to wait for Trisoft to peek that, going to be cleaning up that kill. And now Heaven comes in. It's going to have to be that Jet, knowing that she can't push in there too easily without having to push through the smoke. The plant comes in and Bancroft gets the bomb down.
Yep, and now it's just a waiting game of who decides to commit and who doesn't. Team Shiba has the luxury of being a man up. All they have to do is sit in their corners, wait for Versus to show their faces, and then just click them in the head.
Yeah, and Shobumi gonna get a little anxious on that engage, but Raitai is still gonna fall to the end of it. It's gonna be that Raze and Leo Dez trying to find those kills, and if anybody can do it, Leo Dez can, but Leo Dez cannot.
Yeah, and again, Team Shiba, although to their credit, Team Versus did have the ability to trade out some of the early kills, but with the res coming out, kind of negating the effect that the early, kills that Sev picked up had, or not Sev, but Brain Dead Aimer had, it kind of made it a lot harder, and then all Shiba had to do was take mid control and then pick a bomb site and execute. Now, I think Versus are in for another rude awakening, because Team Shiba, instead of going A a third time, they're executing all to B, and Team Versus is not there to contest it at all. Wow, Team Shiba is just playing with the minds of Versus and getting into their heads. This is ridiculous to see.
Yeah, they're actually breaking their ankles right now. Raitai once again on this Heaven. Gonna be waiting, trying to wallbang somebody up in that Heaven spot, just trying to find any value with their shots. Not gonna quite be able to do it though, as the entirety of Shiba stacks fairly close together. Might have to be a little bit careful here. as they do have that orbital strike coming in from Versus. Not sure if they're going to initiate with it or if they're going to opt into using it this push, but certainly has the opportunity to get a lot of kills. Not anymore, as they do get taken out of the fight. Undead, a brain dead Aimer rather, not going to have the opportunity. A flawless coming in from Shiba, and oh my goodness, Versus looking like fools right now.
Yeah, you gotta think that Versus is getting pretty pissed off in their comms right now, or their mental state's probably not the best. I mean, they had a lead on this map and it was completely blown over. And for the past 3 or 4 rounds, they were just running like they have no idea what's going on. Like they're playing a different game. Team Shiba just on another level. All of them are on the same page and they're playing so well together. And their strats from the very beginning are so well calculated and counterplays Team Versus' setup every single time. It's amazing to watch, but it's just unfortunate for the Team Versus.
Yeah, Nenny is going to be on this Cypher, scouting down B, but they get caught out by that breach ability, meaning that they're going to be easy pickings for the side of Shiba. However, Cairo does get taken down by Trisoft. Again, another crucial kill coming in here. The orbital strike coming in does take down Seb, and finally Shiba showed that they can bleed here on these last few rounds. They now have to take a little bit of the back step. It's just going to be Bancroft as well as that Cypher going up against the 4-man of Versus. And Chobami actually getting the kill on the Raitais, was not expecting that. Raitais seemed like they were holding that angle pretty hard.
Yeah, and Bancroft is just going to go ahead and get the plan on A, get some money. He probably won't win this round, but it'll be good for the economy. Again, they're very rich at this point. They can afford to just go out and look for kills and try to ruin Versus' economy. So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts hunting heads here. But a much needed round for Versus. I cannot stress that enough. If they lost that round, they're looking at losing the next one with their bad economy. But with this, they're at least able to slow the game down a little bit, have a fighting chance. But as I say that, okay, I was almost concerned that Bancroft was just going to clutch it out 1v4, but that's not the case. Versus did invest a res in that too, and so the ult economy is looking pretty scarce for both teams for sure. But again, much needed round for Versus. They have to take this round win, reset their mentality, and come at this with a mindset of, hey, this is our map, and we're still not far off. This game's not over yet. We have the ability, and we have the teamwork and the synergy. We have practice on this map. Let's just take these rest of the map and end at 13-10 right here.
Yeah, Shiba was having quite a bit of a run there for the time being, but it looks like their fun is over, as they will now be getting a little bit more serious, stacking up for that B push. And Versus now going to be having, again, that more even spread of a defense, not committing all their eggs to one basket just to have Shiba pull out a different basket. But now as we look ahead, it looks like that Omen and Breach going to be lining up to get started here on that B, and the Shadow Orb going to be coming in, really obfuscating that angle that can be taken. And then he still has those cameras up and online, so we'll know as Shiba pushes through this choke. And it looks like the rotation even coming through from Versus. They know that commitment's probably going to be coming in. And Shiba firing a lot of shots to very little effect. In fact, it looks like they're going to be baiting back towards that A push, knowing that those reinforcements have gone.
Now it's just Leodads versus the whole team of Shiba. Let's see if he can hold them off long enough for the teams to rotate, at least stall the bomb plant, I would say, and give them a fighting chance. Because here comes Brimstone. So at the very least, they have 2 members nearby. But they still have three players on the side of B, with 1 circling around mid, and here come Team Shiba in full force.
Yeah, Braindead gonna know that.
Oh
Leo
no!
Takes himself out with the showstopper.
No, Leo.
Trust no one, not even yourself. And with that, Shiba gonna be looking to lead in here. 2 kills now up on the side of Versus. They're gonna be wanting those back. And now Versus has to be a little bit hesitant here, as they are man down. The time pressure is on. And really, it just continues to be Shiba getting these kills. Braindead Aimer now taken out of the fight. It's a 2v5.
Leodas has got to be kicking himself after that. Oh man, that is just painful to watch from our end, and I'm sure he's just mad at himself after that.
Yeah, Ninny gonna be getting the kill onto that Jet as they did get a little bit aggressive and push up onto that heaven spot, but gonna be leveled out as Sev takes down Ninny with that clean headshot. And now it's gonna be versus the remaining Jet, just trying to surrender, trying to back away, but the entirety of Shiba seems to be chasing him.
That is just heartbreaking for Versus. They finally caught their stride, winning one round, and they were looking to win one more, and then that happens where Team Shiba just completely shatters their hopes. So yeah, 11 rounds for Shiba. It's getting very dire for Versus. They gotta start picking rounds. They don't want this to go to overtime and then be sudden death, because it's again, it's win this or go home. So yeah, I hope they pull out the stops here. Maybe play a little bit more aggressive on the site takes and try to get these picks early, as they're known to do.
Yeah, although it does look like Shiba gonna be lining up for that B push. It's just gonna be that Cypher once again. It seems like they're really taking advantage of Versus committing that Cypher to just the 1 point. And then as soon as either Versus it forces that rotation out, or it commits to that A push more fully, they're just gonna sweep in on B. It looks like now Sev gonna be looking to get that teleport in, perhaps just trying to avoid any of those major sight lines. As we go in, Ninny going to be activating that cage, that Cypher cage, to try to blind the push coming in from Shiba. But now the rotation coming in quick, and they're all going to rotate to A once again.
Oh, wow, what an outplay by Sev. I mean, using that teleport, sure, it's very loud, but that allows you to mind game your opponent and trick them to using utility and over-rotating. Now, all that's left is Brain Dead Aimer. Well, he does get a kill. So everyone knows that it's A site now. Let's see if they can pull off this retake.
Yeah, now a pseudo defender's advantage for the side of Shiba versus taking some damage in terms of that Brain Dead Aimer going down, but Shiba still looking decent. It's 3-4. This is certainly not impossible. There is heaven given over to Versus though. And now Cypher gonna be uploading Shiba's positioning, if I understand this properly. Versus now have to be a little bit quick. Cairo on this Jet has those daggers ready to activate. This is just a time game as far as Shiba is convinced. They're trying to take as much time as possible. Yeah, but a good drop down from Ninny right into the face of that Jet. Not going to quite work to defuse. Not going to actually come through. It's going to be Shiba getting it, and the entire field gets wiped too off the back end.
No way. That is going to be a round that Team Versus is going to look back at after this game, and they're just going to shake their heads because they played that post plant so well, but to be short, a few seconds off of that defuse and pushing it to match point has got to be devastating for them. I mean, they just can't catch a break, can they?
It really doesn't seem like they can. The Titans starting to waver a little bit, and now it looks like Versus doesn't quite know how they want to hold, but they're finally going to commit more members to that B positioning. Leo Des getting caught out, stunned, and then Chobomi immediately taking advantage. The Brimstone Orbital Strike gonna be coming in, doesn't net the value that they would like though, and immediately this push onto A, aggressive. Gonna be filling this heaven spot, but Brain Dead Aimer catches them out with just that good discipline coming through. The bomb plant gonna be coming in from a Cairo, and now Versus, they really have to play smart here. They can't let this bomb be detonated once again. Although no healing going to be coming in for the breach of the side of Shiba. They need to be playing careful, as any damage will bring that breach out and make this a fight an easy 2v3 in favor of Versus. Versus now starting to walk down that main, but they're using a lot of abilities. You got to expect that Shiba sees that and is ready to push forward as soon as the expose comes in. Dark takes down Right Eyes. Dark takes down a third, and Cairo takes down the last. It's going to be Shiba coming in here, getting the 13-8 in a fashion that was honestly a vast contrast to what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, wow. All I can say is wow from that game. I mean, I feel bad for Versus because they had a grasp on the game, and then slowly they just got